usually stop that until
Yeah.
the meeting starts.
Yeah, thank you. I know I was driving half.
Here.
Okay. Welcome to the BOS November 21st, 2023 meeting. This meeting is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Healy's executive order of March 12th, 2023. Please note that the meeting is being recorded, that some attendees are participating by video conference. Please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. I will confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. I am Bob Springer, Chair of the Board of Selectmen. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. John Jeffries.
John Jeffries is here.
So we have to wait on Robin. She is not here. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mike Blanchard.
Mike is here.
Chris, again, I can't think of your last name. If I got it.
I'm here.
Okay, Carl.
Present.
Valente, Amy Gal,
Present.
Kyle,
Sorry. Present.
Dave is a guest. That should get me through that. So we are ready to rock and roll on that one. Yep. So I will go to citizens' comments. At our last meeting, which I believe was the 15th, I inadvertently failed to read into the minutes a letter from the Library Board of Trustees. So I'm going to read in that letter. It's from Peter Hoffman from the Dover Library. I am commenting today as policy chair of the Board of the Library Trustees. While we appreciate the board's efforts to improve Dover town government, in our opinion, the BOS roles and responsibilities document does not clearly distinguish that the management and operation of the Dover Town Library is the sole responsibility of the trustees, as delineated by state law in brackets MGL Chapter 78, 5510-12 close brackets, and the town bylaws, Article 11, Section 4 to 17. And as reflected in past and current practices.
Good.
As a result, we are concerned that this new document could, for example, erroneously give readers the impression that the BOS, through the town administrator, has a role in setting down total library performance expectations, metrics, and accountability mechanisms, or that the TA tasked with managing the Dover Town Library operations and delivery of services. Therefore, we advise the BOS to revise the document accordingly to avoid the potential to create such confusion in the future. Thank you. Respectfully submitted, Peter Hoffman, Trustee, Board of Library Trustees. Thank you, Peter. I talked with Peter. At that time, we had not included the org chart for the town, which clearly delineates responsibilities of the town library from other elected boards and the town administrator's responsibilities. And I told Peter that I would read it at the next opportunity. So I think that that has gone away, and I hope that, I mean, it goes to the complexity of our organizational structure. So I'm hoping that the roles and responsibilities and the chart helps people understand the complexity that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. That's done. Okay, we have Robin yet? Robin?
Nope, I don't see her, but I'll keep an eye on the waiting room.
What is that lady doing? So we only have one item. And it's tax classification here. I am dry. I gotta get a Look at my water. Ugh. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hope she doesn't think it's 11. Ugh. Is that Mona on the Dover BOS?
Yep.
Mona's in my office today. They're working on her, staying her window, so we're sharing a computer today.
Ah, how lovely.
Well, why don't we allow Amy to start, or Chris, whoever's gonna start, because I think with the items that we have to discuss, it's going to be a pretty brief conversation.
John, thank you. I'll move on to 1.1 town assess, the presenter is tax classifications. The presenter is Amy Gao. Amy, you got the baton.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here with board members Charlie Long and Bob Cox and Courtney Daniels from the office. Every year, the assessors come before the board to ask you to vote on 4 tax rate options. The first one is the residential factor, and that's to maintain a single tax rate with a factor of 1, or a split tax rate with a factor of less than 1. The second is the open space discount. Dover does not have any property classified as open space. The third item is the residential exemption. This would shift the tax burden from the properties that are a principal residence to owners of vacant land and rental properties. And the fourth one is the small commercial exemption. This would reduce the taxes of properties occupied by small businesses and shift the tax burden to the larger commercial and industrial taxpayers. The Board of Assessors is recommending a residential factor of 1, a no vote on the open space discount, a no vote on the residential exemption, and a no vote on the small commercial exemption.
Thank you, Amy.
And Amy, would you just add that is consistent with the historical practice of the town and the tax?
Correct.
I'll second that,
That'd be
John.
perfect. Thank you.
Are there any
Seconded.
questions, comments? You good, John?
I'm good.
Okay. I move to approve the recommendation of the Board of Assessors for a single tax classification residential factor of 1 with no open space discount, residential or small commercial exemptions. John, I need a second.
Second, I thought you were going to go through all 4 of them. Seconded.
All in favor, I, Bob Springer.
Aye, John Jeffries.
Business is
Bob,
done.
could we just, Amy, can you thank Charlie and is Brittany there? I couldn't hear you at the beginning. Is Brittany with you?
Bob Cox and Courtney Daniels from the office.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you. Please thank that. I'm sorry you were breaking up a little bit. I couldn't really hear you, but I know Bob is on it. I know you've got other folks as well. So thank you very much, and please thank them for their work.
I will, thank you.
Okay, so I want to update the board on the meeting last night with the building committee, if I can do that. The discussion was primarily around timeline and cost estimates, and for the most part, I'd say timeline is sort of wiggles around between about 2 weeks and about maybe as many as 4 weeks potential lateness, but these guys are working feverishly to stay very close to schedule. That's probably what we'll see in the our December update. They're still working on sort of the charges around the money for the additional asbestos removal. They're going through that with a pretty fine-tuned comb. Otherwise, they showed some really cool pictures of progress that they've made in the last few months. And I'd have to say they have the foundation for the new building. They've stabilized the old building. Things were looking pretty good. The thing that we have to get resolved, and we have to get resolved now, is this idea, is the community center director's office. If you remember, they were proposing, or we authorized them to take a look at squeezing the community center director in with Park and Rec. That's simply unacceptable. It's unacceptable to me because it goes against the things that we wanted the community center director's office to represent. There is a room that is in the hallway that leads into the COA area. That room is Mike told me is designated as a lounge. I cannot believe we need a lounge in a building where we've built a community room that's about as big as a football field. John, I want to tell the building committee and the architects to take a look at that space and turn it into an office. And I want them to do it efficiently and effectively. Mike says the room is about is big. Cut it in half, throw in office furniture, and let's move on. The place is centrally located on the first floor between P&R and COA. It's the perfect spot to have the community center sit. I do not understand the reluctance on the part of the building committee, but I want to be able to go to the building committee and the architects with Mike and say, spec this out and spec it out, you know, and if we need due diligence like we did back a year ago, I'm happy to do that too. I mean, we've been messing around with this for way too long. Do you agree?
Totally agree. I
Okay.
totally agree. I know that Robin has been living for the past 18 months through a construction project. I have been living through a construction project for the past 18 months. These things happen all the time. They come up, you meet with your general contractor, you fix it, you move on. It's a very simple fix.
This is called the change order.
Yeah, it's a very
2
simple.
years ago, we didn't know we were going to do this.
Yeah, it's a very simple fix. Would you like?
Can you arrange that?
Yep. So I think we'll leave it at that. I just want to be careful you don't formally vote since it's not on the agenda. But what we could do is request that happen and bring a change order to the board at potentially your next meeting.
Yeah,
because
the timing is critical here.
So I don't
Mike,
disagree. The architect foreshadowed that one of the reasons, just factual information, one of the reasons that the Park and Rec solution that they offered was beneficial was it was a reduced cost. It was understood. The change order for that was under 20,000 for this initial step. So per the board's vote, Bob, you and I were able to say, okay, we'll start that process. The lounge area conversion will be more than the 20,000, so that would have to be voted by the full board. That's not something that you and I can authorize on our own.
Can we get him started on it, Mike?
I think we could, yeah. So we'll have to have them start building some of those numbers, but we'll include it on the 30th agenda for a vote by the board.
And what about I'd like to have somebody keep an eye on these guys. I mean, everything costs too much money in this workup. And really, the thing exists on paper, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand. And it was supposed to be a lounge, so I'm assuming it has all the things a lounge would have, like lights and electricity and internet. So I really want to know what the hell the additional cost is to cut it, whatever the piece is, for the proper sized office for the community center director.
Sure, and we can work through that. You know, I think that understanding in an ideal world, we could go back in time and this was already built out, but we're not there. So the reality is, unfortunately, it's not quite as easy as just throwing up a wall. We have to look at the HVAC. Is there appropriate perhaps a room had one unit, right? One vent, and now it needs two. Outlets where the cables run. There are other things to consider that do add to the design costs and construction costs. So
Yeah, but we seem too easy.
what's that?
I said, we seem too easy. We take what they say and go with it. I mean,
Well, I
I
mean, we
want
do
to
have
make
a
sure that
project.
what's necessary is necessary. I want somebody
Yes.
working on this who knows construction and cares about cost.
Yeah, so as you know, we do have an owner's project manager who's responsible to help oversee our perspective. The architect, does work for us, so we can work through that.
Right.
But as I said, I do think it's reasonable to understand it's going to cost money, and this change I think is more involved than the Parks and Rec piece. So I do think it will be more expensive.
Yeah, well, we've gone from 13 million to 25 million, so cost doesn't seem to be an object.
Fair enough, but just in terms of the change order process, I do think it will require a full board vote, which we can arrange for without issue.
Okay. Hey, Robin, we finished.
Can you hear us now, Robin?
You hear us, Robin?
Yeah, sorry I'm late. The time difference screwed me up.
Yeah, well, we wrapped up, so we're ready to rock.
Are you guys done?
Yes.
Much, yeah.
Okay.
We were
Yeah.
discussing-
Robin, you'll be happy to know we raised your taxes 400% based on your addition.
Okay.
And if you actually ever get to finish it, it's going to be 800. So, so that's really it. I mean, we talked a little bit about actually talked a lot about the director's office in the community center. I expressed my view that I didn't think the squeeze somebody into the park and rec space was right. I suggested an alternative space, and I've asked, John agrees. I ask you to agree. Mike and I will talk to the folks to spec that out. The space is on the corner leading to the COA area. It's called the lounge right now. And it's on the first floor, it's centrally located. We could size it properly, and it sits between two shareholders or who see themselves as stakeholders, where I really think it belongs. It belongs independent of those two town departments. That was about it.
Was it an option that was presented or no?
Yeah, it wasn't really looked at hard.
We're going to ask them to come back to us.
Yeah, so just to be clear, it was an option that the architect looked at. They didn't recommend pursue the deeper dive, but I think what I'm hearing is we'll ask them to do the deeper dive.
Right.
What was their rationale for not doing a deeper dive? The cost?
Cost, yeah, they thought it was easy. Yeah, cost.
Yeah, cost and just time. It would be more involved versus just the park and rec space. That was part of the recommendation.
I mean, is that lounge area open or not?
Is it? Yes, it's open. What do you mean?
So they'd have to put walls up. That's the issue.
No. It's I think it's spec'd out as a room.
Yeah, it is. It's one large room. So I think what Bob's proposing, and again, just being careful, this is not on the agenda, so we're not going to take a vote.
Right.
But is looking to break off the office from that space.
Okay, so there'd still be a lounge. It would just be smaller because it was really hard from the email without seeing a schematic.
Yeah, I have no idea why we need a lounge, but that's a horse of another color, as they said in Wizard of Oz.
Well, I think the idea of a lounge was that people could just go and kind of hang out. Or is this lounge, because there's still the cafe, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
This is separate.
And there's also the community room, which is a gorgeous room.
Right, right.
Now, remember, this stuff was spec'd out almost 2 years ago.
Bob, I'm still blown away that and again, I say shame on us for not noticing they took the office out.
I'm not sure they ever put the office in, but
No,
Okay.
it was removed. Robin's right. It was removed.
Because I know from the get-go, we talked about 3 offices, so, you know,
Right.
would have, should have, could have, right?
Right.
All right.
what's the weather in Chicago?
It is pouring rain. My computer, I guess, hadn't updated for the changing time, so that was part of my problem.
Yeah.
And then it decided to do an update.
Oh, yeah, that's always clever when they do that.
Right, right.
Really
So
appreciate
I really apologize.
Well, it's okay. We had a very contentious meeting. We had.
So
a-
what is the new tax rate?
Same as the old.
Same as the old, yeah.
Factor one, no commercial, open space, no discount, small
Yeah, no
commercial, no
sure.
exemption.
Plus, we
Historically,
had to beat
same as we've
beat
done.
Dave up a little bit. Chris,
Okay,
are you okay? You rocking on the newsletter? You get the stuff you need?
Yeah, we're in good shape. I'm hoping to get a rough draft done today, so we're
Chris, I'll give you an update of the police chief search. We had a lot over the past 2 weeks, so it is a whole lot, but it's all good. So
that's
I'll get
great.
you some of that today.
Yeah,
So
take
Chris,
your time.
you're
Thank
feeling
you.
good? Yeah, you're okay?
Yeah, no, we're in good shape.
Okay,
Doing good.
good. All right.
well, thank you, everyone, and again, my apologies.
Yes, thank you for coming. Nobody wore their nightcap. I should have worn my nightcap.
Mona, thank you for the text message.
Thank you all for attending.
I move to adjourn and to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, me
And a
too.
great holiday weekend. I second that. Thank you for all your help, folks. So with that, I think we need to vote. Bob Springs.
I, John Jeffries.
Hi, Robin Hunter.
Okay, thank you all.
All right,
Enjoy.
thanks.
Mike,
Happy
let's-
Thanksgiving, everybody.
If
Yeah,
you, Mike,
thanks,
if you
Mike.
need to get me on this, I should be around, okay?
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Take care,
everyone.
guys. Be good.